Will guests please rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the national anthem, which will be sung by Ensign Joseph Picard. NPTU Charleston, attention. Moored Training Ship 626, arriving. Nuclear Power Training Unit Charleston, arriving.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please remain standing for the invocation from Chaplain Brady.
Let us pray. Eternal and gracious God, we stand with bowed down heads and lifted hearts to thank you for this graduating class assembled before us today. Loving Lord, it was you who gave these sailors the grace and the grit to dedicate themselves to complete demanding study, endure ever-changing weekly shifts, and satisfy all the necessary requirements needed to qualify to be a nuclear sailor in the fleet. Oh God, we also piously pause to celebrate the graduation of our Australian sailors who have qualified and completed their training, a prototype which makes this graduation both happy and historic. Lives of the two nations whose destinies are bonded together by shared noble values and a goal to maintain a free and open Indo-Pacific. Today, we can truly say in this case of all our graduates that you, O Lord, have been the unseen, unfailing, sustaining, potent presence that lifted these sailors when they were down in duress, strengthened them when they were weak and worn, and propelled them not only unto this day, but into a bright, promising future yet ahead. Now, O God, as these sailors prepare to go into the fleet, to report to a surface ship above or submarine below, continue to protect, prosper, and keep them, we pray. And finally, O God, I ask that you graciously remember and bless the families of the sailors who supported them, the instructors and staff who taught them, the chiefs and officers who mentored them, who share in the joy of this day. With these sailors, all of these blessings we ask in your most holy name. Amen.
Please be seated. MPTU Charleston, at ease. Captain Kep, Moored Training Ship 626, Commanding Officer Commander Kennedy, Site Command Master Chief Montello, distinguished guests, family, and friends, welcome to the Naval Nuclear Power Training Unit Charleston graduation ceremony for Class 2302. I am Commander Keller, prospective Commanding Officer of Moored Training Ship 626. We are pleased that you could join us as we recognize the sailors who dedicated so much of their time and effort in this final phase of their training. While we will recognize those students who stand out from their peers, it is important to remember that each student dedicated thousands of hours in pursuit of this moment. Today is about the accomplishments of our sailors as they complete the Naval Nuclear Propulsion Training Pipeline. Please join me in a round of applause for our families, friends, and shipmates who played a large part in our sailors' success. You have our heartfelt thanks. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Commanding Officer of Moored, a career submariner, previously served as XO of the USS Rhode Island, Commander Jake Kennedy.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming to celebrate your loved one's graduation. First order of business, could I ask the veterans, if you're able, to please stand? Any veterans in the ceremony? All right, let's give them a round. Hey, that's really great to see. Do not underestimate the influence you have on the next generation. Both of my grandfathers were World War II veterans and had a huge influence on me and my brother. One of them served in the Army in the Battle of the Bulge. One of them served in the Pacific on naval ships, so we followed in their footsteps. My brother joined the Army. I obviously joined the Navy. So when we get together for family gatherings, I like to give my brother a hard time and remind him about the Constitution that says Congress may raise an army, but shall provide and maintain a Navy. Hoo-yah? All right, well, to quote a great Army general and our first president, George Washington, even as an Army general, he understood the importance of a naval force. Right? So he said in writing to a friend, without a decisive naval force, we can do nothing definitive, but with it, we can do all things honorable and glorious. I don't think George Washington could predict it where we would be today, though. When Admiral Rickover decided to harness the power of the atom and put on a naval vessel, he did give us the greatest warfighting advantage in the history of sea power. Another great warrior, Napoleon, he was quoted saying, the amateurs discuss tactics, the professionals discuss logistics. Right? So what the atom gave us was the greatest logistical advantage in the history of sea power. What that means is we can go to sea indefinitely, limit it by only how much food we can carry. Now, it also gave us some distinct tactical advantages, right? So our strongest show of U.S. national power around the world is our carrier strike group. And because of nuclear power, not only is that force agile and durable, they are also the fastest boats on the high seas, right? So that keeps our potential adversaries at bay, and should any of them be bold enough to mess with the carrier strike group, rest assured there's a fast attack submarine lurking beneath the deep, ready for battle stations missile. Yeah? And those submarines, right, because of nuclear power, they do carry a distinct speed advantage and a durability advantage over the quieter diesel-electric hunter-killer submarines. Now, whenever there's a emerging global conflict, our Joint Chiefs of Staff, they are the first to ask, where are our guided missile submarines and how soon can they be there, right? Carrying over 150 Tomahawk land attack missiles. They are a very agile and potent force, right? And then last, but certainly not least, right, our SSBN, our ballistic missile submarine, that is the survivable leg of our nuclear triad. Right? What nuclear power gave those ballistic missile submarines was air-independent propulsion. So that was the ability to remain underwater indefinitely, undetected, providing strategic coverage 24/7, 365. Right, so our SSB sailors, they do not return home until relieved by another SSBN submarine or presidential notification. That is a huge responsibility. And so all of those great warfighting advantages, those great tactical advantages, those great logistical advantages, that is what your loved ones are becoming a part of. But to quote Admiral Rickover, the father of our program, right, he said, "People, not machines, get things done." So I think it's very important that as we celebrate here, we don't forget that, right? All those technological advantages would be nothing without your loved ones sitting in the back of the room. And so for graduates, congratulations on getting things done. Most importantly, getting your qualifications done on time. Let's give them a round of applause. Now, I charge you, as you go to your first ship, continue getting things done, get your ships to sea, keep them at sea, so you can continue to defend democracy and freedom around the world. Hoo-yah? All right. Well, hey, without further ado, I do want to introduce the commanding officer of Nuclear Power Training Unit Charleston, Captain Reed Kelp. He was also my executive officer when I served on the fast attack submarine USS Buffalo, a good friend of mine, and we want to welcome him to this ceremony.
Good morning, y'all. Am I the only one that's a little bit cold in here? Man, when I was stationed up in Connecticut, I was pretty thick-blooded, but just took a couple years here, and man, I can get chilly pretty quick. I used to think I was pretty tough when I lived in the snow in New England, but anyway, here we are. Hey, well, I am glad that you could make it here today. This is just an honor to be part of the ceremony. It's an honor to watch these graduates demonstrate their success, accomplish what they have volunteered and signed up to do. And it's really just an honor to see you here. And it's an honor to watch what you've already invested in their lives up to this point and your continued investment just to take the time out of your day and investment to just be here and be part of this ceremony. So I'm very grateful for that. Hey, a couple things. I'm going to give a few shout outs, okay? And I'm going to start with this Patriots Point staff. Here on the USS Yorktown, well, I can't think of a better venue to send our troops out to the fleet from, right? In the hangar bay of battle-hardened USS Yorktown. Just a great setting. I appreciate Patriots Point for allowing us to use this venue. We do this every 8 weeks where we graduate about 400 sailors every 8 weeks to send out to the fleet. So we end up with about 3,000 sailors a year and about 600 officers. Now, don't test my public math on that. I know some of you engineers out there, mathematicians or teachers are like, that doesn't add up. Like, just work with me here. And I'm not going to check my own math up here. I can guarantee you that. But I do want to say thank you to the Patriots Point team for that. Hey, I want to give a shout out to my, first of all, that national anthem. Man, that was impressive. Where are you at, Lieutenant? Great job. Man, just a lot of talent. I love every time we do one of these and we have folks that are coming from the graduating crowd that just have some talents and they've just invested that. That's just been a part of their life is being able to sing and they just have a natural talent and I'm just glad that they're willing to use it. And so that means a lot for that. So, hey, I do want to give a shout out to my staff. So while we're here at this graduation, my staff is continually working right now, working on graduating the next class of students. So I have about 1,400 active duty staff and about 300 civilian staff that operate the prototypes. We have 2 training reactors and a large facility full of simulator equipment that we use to train and certify our sailors. And my staff works 24/7, 365, and that includes on Christmas to meet the training demand that we have to send the right people at the right capacity to our submarines and our aircraft carriers that are around the world, which Commander Kennedy already spoke about. And so our staff is working right now, and what they do is really eye-watering. They're hand-selected. Most of them are hand-selected from the fleet, and they come here and they go through another rigorous qualification process to be master training instructors and to operate the plants, and then we turn them over to the students to where they continue the training mission. So I want to give a shout out to my staff. And just to echo what Commander Kennedy said, very grateful for our veterans. Thank you for your influence. One more group I would like to acknowledge. If you're a spouse of someone that's graduating here today, would you please stand if you're willing and able? Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Hey, you're going to be on this adventure too, right? My eyes can water sometimes when I know what you're getting ready to do and what you've done for us. You will embed yourself into a new community. You're going to be moving places all over the world. I will watch others come alongside you and help you adapt. I'll watch you grow and help other families move and adapt. I've watched you over the years take positions in family readiness group and ombudsman in your local churches and in your community. Just really keep our mission strong and enable those that are in the uniform and serving on the ships in our different capacities to do their job. So thank you very much for our spouses. Okay. All right. So let's see. What else do we got? Okay, so let me give you a little bit of education here about what the sailors are getting ready to do. So clearly most of you have had or have some teenagers in your house. Have you ever sat around at the dinner table and you're like, hey, what do you do? Where are you going? What is your job? What do you do? And you get something like, good. Like, am I the only person that get, like, somehow or another you can sum up 18 months of nuclear training with the word good. All right, so I'm going to try to give you a little education on what they do, what opportunities they have. As Commander Kennedy clearly laid out, we have a vast array of guided missile submarines, fast attack submarines, ballistic missile submarines. Our global force projection of power hinges on our aircraft carriers. We have maintenance facilities as well. And these sailors and officers are going to go fill those roles, whether they're forward deployed in a new construction or in a long maintenance availability. It's just a plethora of activity out there. It's all meaningful. It's all important, and we can't. And we count on them, their training, their maintenance, their operations experience to be able to get after there and get that done. Let me start with some of the officers, okay? So our officers, we have surface warfare officers. These are officers, they've already done one tour on a non-nuclear surface combatant as a division officer. They come and get their final nuclear certification training, and we'll go do a follow-on division officer tour on an aircraft carrier. Our submarine officers, mainly ensigns, will go to various submarine assignments, whether that's, again, the ballistic missile, the guided missile submarines, or our fast attack submarines. So we're excited for what they're getting ready to do. We also qualify and certify direct input officers. That's a program where we recruit officers out of college that meet the same technical credentials as the rest of the team. And they come through the same nuclear training, and when they get done, instead of going to the fleet, what they'll do is they will become one of the instructors that works for me. So for the remaining years of their 5-year contract, they will stand watch on a training propulsion reactor and give training events and seminars, and they will be very involved in the instruction that we give to our future graduates for the entire time that they're here. So I'm very proud of them. I don't know if we have any in this group, but we also train and certify our Naval Nuclear Laboratory instructors. Those are civilians who are hired on through Naval Nuclear Laboratories. They go through the same training, and they're committed to be employed through Naval Nuclear Laboratory or NNL, and they'll be part of our training mission as well to support that as well. So we're very excited about that. Okay, to our sailors. Okay, the various ratings. So electricians or electricians mate, nuclear. They operate our load distributions, or our electric plant that we call, to give us the right power distribution we have along our ships. And I'm very minimizing this. There's a ton of work that they do. Also, we call them electrical operators, our electronics technicians, or we call them our reactor operators. Sort of speaks for itself. They operate our reactor plant to give us the power demand we need to generate the steam, to provide us that electricity and provide that propulsion for our ships. And we have our nuclear mechanics. Our nuclear mechanics operate that propulsion equipment and other auxiliary systems that we need, and we count on them all throughout the engine room to support. From our mechanics, we hand select a group of them that will serve as engineering laboratory technicians. We give that an acronym we call EL. These individuals are in charge of the chemistry controls for our reactor plant, where they routinely manage and keep an understanding of where our chemistry controls are to maintain the integrity of our reactor plants that operate at high pressure and high temperature. So their job, very important. Once they graduate today, those that are selected will come back to my schoolhouse and they'll have some subsequent weeks that they'll do to get further on training on that specialty. Some are going to further on schools. We really want to educate our sailors for the things that we're equipping them to do as they go to the fleet. Some will go to Propulsion Plant Local Area Network. That's a mouthful. We call that PP land. So think information technology, networking. For those of you that like that, you could probably talk for a long time about that. I do not want to talk about that for a long time. But they go to separate school to be able to do that. And some will go be nuclear welders. We have a select few that will go to dive school and be certified as a diver to dive on the ships. And some that are going to some of our newest submarines will go to a design school to get very special education and training on the specific plant that they're going to operate on if that's a brand new design of one of our reactors. All right, there's more. Some of the students have applied for a program that we call Junior Staff Instructor. So these are high-performing students, and there's only a few of them that do this, that if they will, based on their performance, will select them to stay behind after they graduate. They'll stay behind with me for about 2 years, and they will get additional instructor qualifications and certifications, and we'll keep them on our training staff to keep the next groups of classes moving for 2 years, help supplement our C returnee workforce. So we're very proud of them. There's other officer opportunities for our enlisted sailors to seek a commission. That comes through what we call our Seaman to Admiral program, or Stay 21, where you can seek that, and we'll give a stipend and a scholarship to go to various colleges. Officer Candidate School, for those that already have a degree, can apply to transition to the officer program through that, and some can seek an appointment to go to the U.S. Naval Academy for commission. Okay? All right, and now you will see, so that's what they do, okay? Very impressive. Now, you'll see some sailors walk across the stage here. Some of them are a second-class petty officer, so one rank higher than when they started here. And those are ones that have that have met the time in service requirements and have completed their nuclear qualification that allow them to do what we call STAR reenlistment, right? So that's selective training reenlistment. And that's a great opportunity that they meet those requirements. It's automatic advancement to the next pay grade. It's a very healthy financial incentive. It's an opportunity to receive housing allowance at their next duty station where they can live out in town on the economy. I think it's a very appropriate reward that we give our sailors, and just allows them to continue and build on the success that they have already achieved and what they signed up to do. We want them to continue to develop themselves professionally and personally, and we think that's just a great decision those have made. For the other ones that don't quite meet the time requirements, maybe because your school was just a little bit shorter on the front end, they're going to meet those time requirements, many of them just in the next few weeks. So I encourage you families to just, maybe ask them, hey, what does that mean? What is the time requirements? And maybe help advise, because they'll be out of my hands after they leave today. So just really good questions to ask. What's the next career move for you? And we're already thinking about their careers, and this will set them up very well, either for a continued career all the way through the Navy, or a guaranteed shore duty once they get done with their initial sea tour that will set them up to make whatever life transitions they need. So that's a really good opportunity for the sailors. Okay, great. All right. Now let me get to know you families just a little bit, all right? This is going to be interactive, all right? So I'm just curious, who thinks they traveled from the farthest? This is interactive. Who do we got? Interactive. With Oklahoma? All right, anybody else? Arizona. Southern California, okay. California, okay. Seattle. Germany. All right. Yeah, all right, we'll let Germany take it. I thought I heard somebody say Texas at the end. Just so you know, that's not further than Germany. Yeah, CMC's from Texas. Always got to poke him a little bit. So, okay, great. All right, that's awesome. Hey, I think like Commander Keller mentioned, you have plenty of room in the aisles and up front as your sailor walks across the stage to graduate. Please feel free to come up and take a photo. Now, but real quick before you do that, I was just talking to your sailors before this. What they said is they love when their family hoops and hollers and calls out. They love hearing things like, I love my sailor, that's my sailor. They love it. They love it. They said they would be really encouraged if you embarrass them, and I know I would be. And so please take that opportunity. Nicknames are great. Just keep them PG if you don't mind. So anyway, So that's great. Thank you for being here. I'm excited for this. I'm very proud of our graduates, and God bless all of you.
The Navy League, represented by Captain James Lyons, retired, takes pride in recognizing sailors that stand out amongst their peers. Mr. Lyons is the president of the Naval Submarine League, Charleston chapter. He is also a retired Navy submariner who was commanding officer of USS James K. Polk and the Naval Satellite Operations Center in Point Mugu, California. Captain Polk.
Well, good morning and welcome to Charleston. I'm representing two organizations today, the Navy League and also the Naval Submarine League. The Navy League was organized back in 1902 under the guidance of President Theodore Roosevelt. And we are a communication, advocacy, and educational organization for the Naval Sea Services. That's the Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, and Merchant Marine. And we have an award today for the top sailor who graduated first not graduated, but qualified first in their group.
ETN-3, Swarov Shrista. The Commanding Officer's Personal Excellence Award is presented to the sailor chosen from each crew who exhibits the greatest degree of professionalism. The selection criteria for this award takes into consideration student effort, motivation, adaptability, personal development, performance of duties. The following sailors are the winners of the Commanding Officer's Personal Excellence Award. MMN-3, Ataria Barima, USS Alabama. EMN-3, Kenneth Rodas, USS Ronald Reagan. MMN-3, Celeste McGowan, Engineering Laboratory Technician. MMN-3, Yalam Lay, USS Nebraska. MMN-3, William Adams, Engineering Laboratory Technician. MMN-3, Ian Pierce, USS Seawolf. And now the moment you have been waiting for, NPTU Class 2302. MMN-3, Christian Arias, Engineering Laboratory Technician. MMN-3, Cody Ayers, USS Abraham Lincoln. EMN-3, Colton Barber, USS George Washington. EMN-3, Jackson Barrier, USS Maryland. ETN-3, Andrew Bates, USS Wyoming. MMN-3, Austin Burke, Engineering Laboratory Technician. MMN-3, Anthony Brito, USS Dwight D. Eisenhower. EMN-3, Caleb Browning, USS Nebraska Gold. Ensign Daphne Buning, USS Utah. MMN3 Connor Burton, USS Kentucky. MMN3 Joshua Kane, Engineering Laboratory Technician. MMN3 Sawyer Cannon, USS Henry M. Jackson. MMN3 Nicholas Kano, USS Ronald Reagan. EMN3 Ryan Cates, USS Cheyenne. Ensign Sean Kavanaugh, USS Springfield. EMN3 Connor Chambers, USS John C. Stennis. ETN3 Andrew Childs, USS California. Ensign Darren Cicero, USS Hampton. MMN3 Kyle Cioli, Engineering Laboratory Technician. ETN3 Dane Clendenin, USS Maine. ETN3 Joshua Collado, USS John F. Kennedy. EMN3 Joseph Cox, USS Carl Vinson. Ensign Zachary Crook, USS Hyman G. Rookover. MMN3 Wesley Dang, Engineering Laboratory Technician. Ensign Chad Deegan, USS Kentucky. Lieutenant Junior Grade Ethan Delanoy, Harry S. Truman. EMN3 Justin Dugan, USS Columbia. MMN3 Jackson Gallagher, Engineering Laboratory Technician. ETN3 Liam Gap, USS Montpelier. Ensign Jacob Garst, USS Georgia. Mr. Kelly Gavin, MPTU New York. ETN3 J. Sean Glasper, USS Nevada Gold. MMN3 Garrick Gottlieb, USS Carl Vinson. MMN3 Jacob Green, USS Nimitz. Ensign Alexander Hayden, USS North Dakota. Ensign Noah Haig, USS Greenville. MMN3 John Hankey, USS Florida. Ensign Darren Heck, USS Maryland. MMN3 Zachary Heesh, USS Carl Vinson. Ensign Nathan Hellier, USS Hawaii. ETN3 Cody Height, USS Dwight D. Eisenhower. EMN3 Frederic Homan, USS George H.W. Bush. MMN3 Ryan Hawley, Engineering Laboratory Technician. EMN3 Slayton Horton, USS Nimitz. Ensign Zachary Hughes, USS Maine. EMN3 Maliki Ingold, USS Ronald Reagan. MMN3 Dominic Jackson, USS Ronald Reagan. Ensign Anthony Jimenez Manso, USS Henry Hatton Jackson. MMN3 Jacob Johnston, USS George Washington. MMN3 Joseph Jones, USS Mexico. MMN3 Ian Kilpatrick, USS Carl Vinson. Ensign Sam Kim, USS Kentucky. Ensign Kyle Kreitzer, USS Delaware. ETN3 Brittany LeBron, USS Michigan. Ensign Connor Lemon, USS Oregon. Ensign Alex Lee, USS Maryland. EMN3 Benjamin Lowe, USS Ohio. EMN3 Mark Lucatero, USS Maine Gold. Ensign Darren Lutchman, USS Vermont. MMN3 Noel McGee, USS Dwight D. Eisenhower. ETN3 Pedro Martinez Duran, USS Nimitz. MMN3 Devron Mathrin, USS John C. Stennis. MMN3 Harold Matthews, USS Springfield. Ensign Patrick McCaffrey, USS Pennsylvania. MMN3 Jack McKinley, USS Missouri. Ensign Ryan Merchant, USS Jimmy Carter. Ensign Joseph Meschino, USS Virginia. ETN-3 Eric James Milan, USS Ronald Reagan. EMN-3 Christian Mitchell, USS Dwight D. Eisenhower. EMN-3 Andrew Mobley, USS Abraham Lincoln. EMN-3 Jacob Newkirk, USS Alabama. EMN-3 Alexander Olson, USS John F. Kennedy. ETN-3 Theodore Payne, USS John F. Kennedy. MMN-3 Braden Pierce, USS Ronald Reagan. ETN-3 Cameron Perez, USS Ronald Reagan. Ensign Joseph Picard, USS Washington. EMN-3 Aaron Popivas, USS Harry S. Truman. MMN-3 Ethan Pugh, USS George Washington. EMN-3 Bodie Ray, USS John F. Kennedy. MMN-3 Megan Rempole, USS Harry S. Truman. ETN-3 Adrian Reyes, USS Montpelier. MMN-3 Samantha Rodriguez Santana, USS Dwight D. Eisenhower. Ensign Kyle Sanchez, USS Nevada. MMN-3 Jaden Shepard, USS John F. Kennedy. ETN-3 Srav Shrestha, USS South Dakota. MMN-3 Sarah Singleton, Engineering Laboratory Technician. MMN-3 Brianna Smith, USS Wyoming. EMN-3 Henry Smith, USS Michigan. Ensign Everett Stenberg, USS Topeka. ETN-3 Jason Stevens, USS Iowa. MMN-3 Jared Studheit, USS Nimitz. MMN-3 Joseph Sullivan, USS Nimitz. Ensign Sean Tom, USS North Dakota. MMN-3 Troy, USS Nimitz. MMN3 Samuel Wygant, USS Maine. MMN3 Kevin Yamamura, USS Theodore Roosevelt. Please give another round of applause for our graduates. Chaplain Brady will now deliver the benediction. Please remain standing.
Shall we pray? Oh, gracious God, we thank you for this day, and as we prepare the memories of today in our hearts, protect and keep and go with us and with these graduates who will go into the fleet. Help us to remember that you are the source of our strength and the strength of our lives. Help us to endeavor to live in total praise. Amen.
Once again, congratulations to the graduates, and thank you, family, friends, and shipmates, for being here today. On behalf of the commanding officer, the technical director, and the Site Command Master Chief, I wish you all fair winds and following seas. MPTU Charleston, attention, dismissed.